Hi, all. Welcome back to Make More Bonsai. John here. You know, autumn for me is like my least favorite season. The days are getting shorter, pants are getting longer, because it's getting colder and colder. I know some folks love it, but me, not so much. One good thing about autumn is it's a great time to set up your bonsai for a better spring. And that brings some excitement to save me from the funk. It's great to see how far your tree has come since the beginning of the growing season, assess the situation, and safely do some styling work you maybe couldn't do in the summer heat. Like this Japanese black pine, for example. You may have seen this in a previous video a year ago. Since then, it's had an awesome year. It's put on a lot of new growth, and many of the branches that were wired last year are now firmly in place. The main branches have formed a more dense branch structure, and the apex has filled in with more branches to choose from to further enhance the area. So, for this late autumn session, we're going to make some choices and open up some areas to allow more light to reach the inner parts of the tree. Overall, we're going to relax and enjoy how successful this tree has been and raise the level of refinement of this tree. Maybe autumn isn't so bad after all, eh? With this tree entering its third year being refined into a bonsai, I'm learning how this particular tree operates. It seems to have its own rhythm and preferences. Very often when working with bonsai, you're working with trees that have been propagated from a cutting. This essentially creates a clone of the parent tree, and in general, it'll have the same overall pattern of growth the parent tree had. One could create their own platoon of a cultivar of a tree one likes, and once they're established, they will pretty much all need the same care, and the timing of any training will also pretty much align. This pine tree was one of a fleet of over 100 trees grown from seed like 20 years ago. It's one of 3 trees that were planted in the ground to thicken their trunks from that group. I still have those 3 trees in different stages of training now, and each of them have different needs and grow at different rates. Because they were grown from seed, they are not the exact clones of the parent tree. They each have a slightly different genetic makeup and have different needs, and this tree is no different. Last year, around this time, this tree was featured here for a similar training session. We discussed its history and then began cleaning and working the branches into their current state. I did what I would normally do in a general sense with a Japanese black pine. The following spring, I learned the results of that training session and am now able to adjust how to treat this tree, applying what I've learned. It was a little slow to push out candles this spring, nothing to worry about really. Once I got going, it was fine. What I learned from this experience was I may have removed too many needles last autumn, which limited how much energy it would gather to store over winter. I'm going to adjust that strategy this year and see if it has a better, more aggressive spring candle push next year. I'm not going to remove as many needles as I did last year. This year I'm only going to remove downward growing needles and needles that are damaged and open up small areas so light can penetrate into the branch. The majority of the needles will remain on the tree to continue to add strength to the branches for next spring. The main thing to take away from this is every tree is different, and once you get into the refinement level of training, those differences really become more apparent as you try to manage energy within the tree to develop the branches further and reach your bonsai goal. I do keep notes when working on a bonsai in order to help remember what happened when. Here's a book I offer that I designed specifically for bonsai and actually use as well. The link is in the comments below if you think you might like to try to keep a record of your work, and it will help support the channel. But enough of this clumsy pitch. The main thing to remember is to pay attention to what your bonsai needs and do your best to adjust as a response when the time comes. Speaking of responding to your tree, to get started, I'm going to clear out some of those older needles and get a clear view into the branches to see if there are buds forming in places that would benefit the design. I'm also looking for areas that can be reduced to a new branch that formed over last season to prune back to. For example, here's a branch that has extended pretty far out. Along the length of it, some new branches have formed. Those used to be buds, now they've matured into branches. Those branches are younger and their width is very narrow compared to the branch they're sprouting from. If I remove the extended older branch from last year and prune it back to the new growth, that one long branch has been replaced by 2 new shorter branches that will create new candle buds on them in spring. That will add at least 2 more newer, shorter branches, and that will add to the ramification of the branch. This branch is the result of last year's pruning. This is now a second set of branches growing on this branch. Next spring, there will be new growth on the shorter remaining branches. This is how to create the dense network of branches that help to further improve the detailed illusion of a large tree, but, in miniature. While working through this tree, let's be mindful of this. The bonsai is in a pot that limits the amount of resources the roots have access to. Those resources are used to support the needles throughout the tree. The resources available to the needles allow them to grow to the maximum length they can be, so they can do their part, which is collect light to convert to sugar through photosynthesis. Every spring, each branch creates new buds called candles. By choosing just 2 buds that will enhance the bonsai design, they become 2 branches. The following year, those branches produce more buds that are selected, and so on, and so on, and so on. Each time this is performed, and more buds add more foliage to the tree, the limited resources the tree's roots produce to support the foliage is spread over more and more needles. These needles receive the same amount of resources as before, but now, since there are far more needles, each needle will be shorter since there are fewer resources available to extend their length. Selecting buds and branches, in combination with the practice of removing the first flush of candles in spring, encouraging the tree to produce a second round of smaller candles later, are how to reduce the needle size and create dense branch ramification on a Japanese black pine or any pine that can produce a second round of growth in a year. This pine will be entering its 3rd year receiving this training. When spring arrives, a new 3rd tier of growth will be added to the branches. The needles on those branches will be shorter than last year's needles. This is what is being set up now, by removing old growth and placing branches where they will receive plenty of light. Since many of these branches were wired into place last year, the focus this year is to add to the density of the branches and further develop the apex of this bonsai. Most of the wire that was put on the tree last year was removed in late summer, and most of that new growth has helped fill the spaces within the tree. I'm going to hold off on adding any additional wire to most of these branches. Instead, I'm going to wait until spring when it's time to trim the first round of candles. It will also be the next opportunity to balance the energy on the tree by removing more old needles, which will expose more of the branch structure. That will be another opportunity to make some adjustments to the branches with wire. The big task of this session will be to set up the apex. I've been leaving one lone branch to grow unchecked. This is a sacrifice branch. You can see from last year, it has grown out and gotten longer. A sacrifice branch is used to increase the flow through the vascular system of the tree in order to strengthen and encourage an area to thicken. The more resources flowing through an area, the faster it will grow and thicken. I'm still not satisfied with the width of the trunk area just below the apex, so I will leave that sacrifice branch on and allow the candles to grow even longer next spring and summer. If we look at the area that the sacrifice branch is extending from, that is where we'll be developing the apex. It seems a lot of new small branch opportunities have developed well over the last year, which is awesome. If we look at the before shot and what it looks like today, one small bud has developed into its own branch, which will be used in the apex. We can also see how the decandling has encouraged another apex branch to form and smaller branches around it to add to the density of that area as well. Wire was removed from it during summer to prevent the wire from creating any deep scars in that branch. It will need to be wired again this year to push it into a better place now that new growth has become available. Sometimes I like to wire a branch into position and allow it to firm up, then remove the wire and let that branch bend relax into its own space. Then later come back and rewire it and place it into an updated position after more growth has formed to help dictate where it should go. What this approach does, at least for me, is offer an opportunity to add additional character to the branch with a fresh assessment of where the tree is going. If I had allowed the wire to cut in and really firm up, taking advantage of this updated design approach might be more difficult to overcome. It's kind of like how one would work on a painting. Each brushstroke is an update to the last stroke. Refining a bit, step back, refine a bit more, and so on. Only the stepping back and update happens like 1 year apart. These apex branches are small and very flexible, so you can add new character bends easily. The first wiring was to set up that area for new buds to develop. Now that that has happened, coming back with that new information to help guide the direction of the bend is really valuable at this halfway point in the development of the apex. Next spring will bring new information to the design in the form of new growth, and that will help inform the next stage, update the plan, and decide to leave the wire on to firm up the design or if it will need further updating. I approach this concept of branch development on a case-by-case basis, by analyzing the progress and adjusting my methods around what the response from the tree is. Not everything goes according to plan, It's important to be flexible in order to make better decisions that improve the design and the health of the tree. With bonsai, it's an ongoing conversation with the tree. There may come a time when the entire branch will be removed from the apex completely to allow a better proportioned branch to take its place. For now, we can enjoy the updated look of the tree. Long branches have been reduced to the new interior growth that was produced last year, reducing the overall silhouette of the tree into a more compact state with denser branches. The apex now has more branches that will draw energy up to further enhance the area. In spring, when the new buds turn into candles, this tree will receive some more attention. The first flush of candles will be removed, except from the sacrifice branch and any branch that may need to be lengthened or an area that will need to be strengthened. Needles will also be removed to help better balance the energy flowing through the tree. At that point, we'll see if any other branches need wire to help spread them out or be placed into a better position while awaiting that second flush of new growth. I'll stop fertilizing the tree once it has reached full dormancy and resume fertilizing sometime in late February or early March, depending on when I can see it has started to emerge from that winter dormant state. This will help fortify the tree for when the second flush of candles start to grow. I plan to fertilize until 4 to 5 weeks before removing the first set of candle buds, roughly mid-April. This will allow the nitrogen from the fertilizer to wash out of the soil. After the tree is decandled, sometime around mid to late May, the reduced available nitrogen in the soil will help slow the extension of the length of the new smaller candle buds that will emerge a few weeks after the original candles were removed. The needles that appear from those shorter candles will also have a reduced length. Once the new shorter needles have matured completely and begin to function as sugar factories, sometime around mid to late August, you can tell they're mature by how stiff and glossy they become. Fertilizer will be reintroduced to restart the cycle of gathering energy through summer and fall for winter and the next spring. This session has really cheered me up from the seasonal sads autumn does to me. This bonsai is progressing really well, and I'm excited for the coming new year and all the stuff this tree will be doing then. Thanks for watching. I hope you gained some helpful insights from this little video. If you have any thoughts you'd like to share or want to add to the conversation, any comments will be greatly appreciated, and it will help pass the time between UV light sessions as I grind through winter. While you're at it, maybe like and subscribe, or possibly check out the book or other groovy stuff like shirts and hats in the comments below, because bonsai stuff is kinda cool, and so are you for helping support this channel.